Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and we closed at 172.28, and immediately it's like I go to the gathering spot, right? So where's price gathered together, or the consolidation area? Support is around the 172.27, resistance here at 173.10, and yes, that is a resistance area for us. Breaking that, should we break that level, we could possibly have trouble again. 173.74, breaking that brings us back to around the 174.36, not far from that ATR trail, and stop at 174.51. So in my opinion, this could be a strong resistance area for AMD. Now breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again around the 175.16, 175.58, 176.37, and breaking that 176.99 could be a rejection area for us. Now back to the downside, let's say we lose this area. I have this level of 172.72, and there's a few moving averages, one being the 50 EMA. Breaking that brings us back to this 172.27, breaking that 172.07, and the 200 EMA as of now 171.92, which has been holding us up for AMD. So should we break that 171.92, we have broken through a few layers of support, so we could very well come back to 171.38. Breaking that 171.38, 170.89, and again here at 170.33, breaking that 170, and again 169.54, which brings us back to this area here. So under that 169.54 area for AMD today, we can come back to 168.97, which is this area here. So if you are trading AMD today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. And I say it often, y'all, again, not financial advice, right? So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 765.87, and it seems to be trading in this little gap. Let's mark that level of the gathering spot, as I like to say, right? So support is around the 765.88, resistance around the 767.11. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again, 767.33, and if we should break that around the 767.83, and breaking that brings us back to around 768.52, and I'm going to mark that 768.52 area here. Should we have trouble there, we could possibly have trouble again. I need to remove that. So we could possibly have trouble again, 769.51, and breaking that level 770.53, which is past this ATR trail and stop, which we will possibly have trouble there around 769.77. So let's go back from that 769.43, 769.77, and breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again, 770.53, breaking that 770.53 for Meta today, 771.38, and breaking that 771.93 could be a rejection area. Breaking that 771.93, we can see here, price stopped us around this area here, 773.22, so that could very well be another rejection area for us. Now back to the downside for Meta today. If we break under the 765.88, we could very well come back to around this level, 765.03. Something stopped us here, 765.03, breaking that 764.27, and should we break that 764.27, breaking that brings us back to the 762.84, 761.69, breaking that 761.69 today for Meta. We could very well continue declining. I'll have to go back and continue charting that. So Meta is interesting. Let's see how much it normally moves per day on average, the ATR for Meta is $21.14. So breaking that, it could move that $21 in either direction, right? So if Meta is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all trade carefully in this market. Anything is possible, right? Nothing is guaranteed. So let's look at NVIDIA. We closed at 182.06. And again, our support area is around the 181.53. Well, that was a support area. Support is around the 182.14. Resistance here at 182.56. Breaking that 182.56 for NVIDIA today, we could possibly have trouble again. Y'all see we have this level marked here at the 182.93. Breaking that brings us back to 183.30. Should we break that level, 183.30, we could possibly have trouble again around the 183.44, not very far away. However, breaking that, something stopped us again here at that 183.74, and breaking that level, 183.92, could be a resistance area for NVIDIA today. Now back to the downside. Let's say we get under this level here of 181.91, somewhere around this area. If we should break this area of 181.91, we could very well come back to the level of 181.53. And breaking that, we can use the 200 EMA, 181.28, if that is something that you use. 181.28. I got to get the numbers right today. 181.28. Breaking that level, the next level I have here is 181.07, which is not far from that ATR trail, and stop at 181.01. I like to see that it's very close, right? So breaking that brings us back to around the 180.78. And should we break that level for Meta today, 180.36, 180.12, and again 179.93, which puts us back in this area here. So if Meta is something that NVIDIA is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your Y, get out, live to trade another day, right? So we do have a few inside day candles for today. Google being one of those, Alphabet Inc. C. If by chance we break above the 202.15, the upside target today is 203.52. Now to the downside, under 199.74, downside target for Alphabet Inc. C today is 197.87. So if you're trading Google today, again, it is an inside day candle. The Alphabet Inc. A is also an inside day candle today above 201.47, gives us an upside target today of 202.61. Looks like we're trying to reach that breakthrough, right? So should we break under 199.04, 197.07 is the target for Alphabet Inc. A today. It is an inside day candle. OXY is also an inside day candle for today above, let's say, this level 44.45. Upside target today is 44.86. To the downside, under 43.61. Downside target for OXY today is 43.45. So OXY is an inside day candle. And let's see, we did have Uber is also an inside day candle for today above, let's say, 91.47. Upside target today, let's get to that, for Uber is 94.35. Now to the downside, under 88.92, we have 88.82 as the downside target. So Uber is an inside day candle for today. Wells Fargo, if you're trading financials, it is an inside day candle today above 77.59. No, that's where we close, 77.59. Let's say we break above 78.11. Upside target today, 78.22. Now to the downside for Wells Fargo, under 77.22, we could possibly reach the target to the downside, 76.33. So if Wells Fargo is something that you trade, again, it is an inside day candle. Wolf, WOOF, is an inside day candle. Let's say above $3.23, upside target today, $3.28. Now, to the downside, under $3.11, we have a downside target of $3.06. So if Wolf is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your Y, get out. We are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 635.92, and we just bounced off of this 200 EMA back to the upside. So support as of now is around the 636.34. We can say the resistance was at this level of 637.66. Keep in mind that candle has not closed yet. So where the trouble places above this 637.66, again, we could possibly have trouble 638.02, 638.30, 638.72, this 639. We just had a rejection at here around the 639, breaking that 639 for the spot today. 639.54, 639.64. Should we break that 639.64 area, we could possibly have trouble again 640.28. So those are possible rejection areas for the SPY today. Let's say we break under this level of 637.66. We have 637.46 down to the 637.08. Breaking that 637.08, we could very well come back to around the 636.84. And should we break that area for the SPY, 636.34, and again 635.89, breaking that brings us back to around the 635.40. Breaking that 200 EMA is at that 635.16. Should we break that, we have found support there twice, right? Breaking that 200 EMA, we could very well come back to 634.85. And should we break that 634.36, breaking that brings us back to the 633.63 for the SPY. So if the SPY is something that you trade today, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels, and once it goes against your Y, get out, right? So we are now looking at Tesla. Tesla does what Tesla does. I say it often, right? We close at 339.03. We have been trading in this gathering spot where support was around the 340.12. Resistance was at the 341.18. Looks like we've got some information or news that come out. Look at the strength of this candle here. Where are the trouble places back to the upside for Tesla? We need to stay above the 344.18. We could possibly have trouble 345.59 and breaking that somewhere around 346.40. Again at 346.84, 347.27, 347.78. Those are called possible rejection areas. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble 348.75, 349.37, and breaking at 349.87 or 37 area here, we could possibly have trouble 350.02, breaking that 350.02, 350.61. So those are possible areas of rejection for Tesla. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under, I would say this area 341.60. We could possibly have trouble or support 341.18. Again here at 340.42, breaking that 340.12, which puts us right at this zone here, breaking that 340.12 area. For Tesla, we could very well come back to around 339.19. Again here at 338.83, 338.36, breaking that level brings us back to 337.33, and should we break that 336.16, breaking that 335.90. And under that 335.48 could very well be a support area for us. So if you're trading Tesla today, y'all, I say it so often, Tesla does what Tesla does. Just mark your levels. And again, once it goes against your Y, your reason for getting into the trade, get out, live to trade another day, right? So again, y'all, this is what I see when I look at the market. There's so many different ways to trade the market, and I say that often. And again, what's challenging is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you, and then to have the discipline to execute your plan. So mark your levels and make sure you have a reason, a plan going into the trade, right? So again, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. If you could, please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.